It's happy hour.
We're gonna try not to be irresponsible. We're gonna try to be
We are
irresponsible.
here for a good time, not a long time. Thank you.
I really did go to New York, not just to see if it was overhyped, but just to see what it was like, because I've always dreamed about going. Like, just like every other suburban rat who's been stuck in the suburbs who wants more, I have been dying to go. New York is a place, before I went there, that existed only on a screen or in my mind, essentially. And when things only exist to you in your mind or on television, it's just a lot easier to project all of your greatest or worst assumptions onto it. I was pleasantly surprised. New York is an amazing, beautiful place. It takes so much time to like get an accurate scope of what a state or a city actually is like. I was only there for about 3 to 4 days, so I really don't even have a precise idea as to what New York really is like. I went with my friend Grace. Grace lived in Philly. I lived in Elgin, Illinois when I was finishing up college. To be in a big city just takes you out of your very mundane, boring setting. Let's just see what it was like. The only thing I want to say about this experience is that I went into the airport with these pants, with this meal, and of course, spilled the meal on my pants. So embarrassing, so disgusting. I hate myself. Also, then my friend picked me up from the airport, and then we drove to her place in Philly, and then from Philly, drove to New York. We made it to our spot. That's so exciting. Of mirrors is kind of freaking me out, but I'm also, the narcissist in me is just like, this is what you need. The room, the street view isn't like crazy because it's not crazy at this part, but Grace's part is so much better. Oh my gosh. I am so hyped. This place is so nice. How do you feel about it? Because I already showed it. But like, I give this a solid like 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10 if they decorated it.
Right. And the bathroom's kind of sketchy, actually. Like, I was like, okay, I can work with it, but not the wallpaper, like, peeling off the wall. It's okay. You know, it just makes it more rustic.
Okay, so I'm excited to walk some places because I feel like that's the whole thing to do, you know, to go around New York and to walk. and then also to do various like activities where you go and eat. Like, I feel like that's the move. Did I really just say I was excited to walk somewhere and that I'm excited to eat food and walk? I'm so simple and stupid, it drives me insane. To like go eat things and to get a little bit...
Have a good time.
I'm also just kind of scared because we're two, like, I wonder if, like, us being two little black women is gonna, like, affect how we feel. Because, like, I do not feel invincible. Like, I fully feel like if anybody looks at me, they're, like, wanting to take my existence.
I think that as well, but also at the same time, I've, like, convinced myself I can beat up a grown man.
You could beat up a grown man. She could fully beat up my fiance. I'm sorry.
We're Christian.
Anyways, yeah, we're gonna go to Sexy Taco.
Sexy Taco.
Aww. Wow. Literally me, because you're like, it doesn't taste like alcohol. I'm like... You like it? Mm-hmm. Hello? One thing that I'm very cognizant of that I was just starting to notice is that we were going to kind of like nicer areas. Not saying this is like a fancy, nice restaurant, but we were in Harlem in like a nicer Airbnb that was probably in the gentrified area of Harlem itself, you know? So as much as we are judging NYC based off our experience, it feels like this isn't accurate to what normal people who live in New York would actually go through on a day-to-day basis. And we very much know that because this is like a vacation for us.
Oh no, now I'm starting to feel it.
Oh shoot. These s'mores, dude, they kind of look sexy, not gonna lie. In a trashy way.
I think it's the vodka cran talking.
Bye. Oh my god, the sink stopped. Proud of you. Okay, so we went into another bar, which wasn't really worth noting, honestly, and then we came home. I just want to say, I did not take into account how expensive everything would be when you're going out. The drinks, way more expensive, like $3 to $4 more than like the typical drinks in like the Midwest where I was. And then like you would get like an appetizer and it'd be like the cost of like basically a meal, like a smaller-ish meal. That, and regrettably, we Ubered everywhere for the first day. The second day, things changed, but it was expensive. I regret it, but you know, we just didn't know. I just am an anxious person. I recently was diagnosed with anxiety, but this time I didn't know that I had anxiety. But I wish I had just foregone all of my scary thoughts about taking the train, and I wish I had just gone into taking the train the first day. I'm pretty sure Grace was trying to convince me, and I was like, no, it's fine. We can just Uber. And then my bank account was quickly dwindling, and I was like, maybe we should take the train. So we did end up taking the trains at a certain point. But I wish in the beginning I had just straight up had the courage to just take the stupid trains. So Grace and I are kind of just talking about what we want to do in New York. It's so hard when you're not a local and when you don't have access to people who are in New York to know what to do. Also, I had a friend who was from Brooklyn, but we were in the Harlem area and like closer to Manhattan, I believe. So that also was just kind of difficult, figuring out the regions and figuring out what to do that was popular in your region. Last night, we went to a place called... What was that place called? We went to the Row, where Grace picked up a 40-year-old man. I'm kidding. That's not factual. Grace enticed a 40-year-old man with her looks. I'm absolutely kidding. This man walked up to us and just, I don't know, he was nice. And that's the thing is, like, it's nerve-wracking being in a new city because I don't want to give out any information. Like, I do not care about knowing people. So she was like, because this man, like, put his phone number in her phone and called her. Like, just to make sure that it was going to go through. He needs to know that's problematic, doesn't he? You should text him today, be like, hey, by the way. Anyways, met this man. But the environment was really, really nice. Like, we walked past it and we weren't going to go to it. But the man, like, invited us in and was like, sit here. I don't know if he works there or if he's just trying to get some business for his friends. Because he seemed like he worked there, but he, like, was coming and going. Like, he didn't have a steady thing. Anyways. After the Row, we went to Harlem Nights. That was really fun. I really liked the bartender. I feel like the bartender at certain places really makes the experience. So that was good. Where did we go after that? We went to Solas because we heard a TikTok recommendation telling us it was good. And we went there and it was just this bitter little college white boy. Like, just really judgy. And just wasn't giving us a good time. But, I mean, either way, it was kind of fun to sit and talk and, like, people... Yuck, I sound like a loser. It was fun to people watch. Like, it was really fun to just look around and see what people were doing. It was. So today, we're just gonna go to, like, some shops, thrift stores, and, like, have a cute day, I guess. Are we coming back to watch The Bachelor? Anyways, and tomorrow, we're gonna try to go to Times Square. Any things you want to add to your 30-year-old self who's gonna look back at this? Show us how hot you are right now. This is Grack, 21 years old, single. What if you look back on this with your husband?
Oh my goodness, that would be horrifying.
So how was yesterday?
Yesterday was fun.
How is today gonna be?
Fun. I think it'll be good. I think if we find like the right area with like the right stuff to do.
That's the thing is like it's so embarrassing being a tourist because you're low-key like, where's the party?
Right, but you don't want people to, because you know that annoys like the locals.
Yeah.
So then you have to pretend like you know what you're doing and then they clearly know you don't.
Like we were wanting to ask the bartender, like we asked the bartender yesterday, like, hey, what are the places out here? And he was like, he wrote some down. And we were like, okay, didn't take a single recommendation from him. Remember that one moment you were like, he's kind of cute. he had good energy, but he wasn't like attractive. But it was attractive energy.
It was.
I think that's also what played into it. He was like so nice.
He was.
Anyway, we're gonna enjoy our day. You look so pretty. Wait, why am I even looking over there? This man's rear view mirror is a camera. Like, he attached a camera to the back of his vehicle, and then it just projects onto his rear view mirror. What a dream. Like, get pizza in The Bachelor in New York. Today is the last day. Like, actually, I'm a little relieved because it takes money to travel and to do anything remotely entertaining if you aren't going to entertain yourself. But I'm mainly sad because it's really nice being in a city setting. When you're from the suburbs, you just get used to being a little bit bored and making your own fun. And like depending on people who like know the area. I don't know. It's just so much easier to be in the city and to like have a little bit of fun and to like go out and seek adventure, I guess, versus here, this is an escape, clearly. I'm just sad. Yeah. What a So we didn't record much, like we didn't collect much of anything, but Times Square honestly is a little bit overhyped. We went into the Krispy Kreme, love Krispy Kreme every time, all the time, no matter where it's at. But after Krispy Kreme, we went to some restaurants and then we went to some shops and did some shopping at H&M. But the reason that I say that I believe the Times Square is a little bit overhyped is because it just feels like it's mainly for tourists. Like, you know the feel when a city just has that one spot that's like, come spend all of your money in this one singular area and be blown away by the aesthetics. And that's really just what it felt like. I didn't feel like it had much casual value. On the way to Central Park, we saw the Tonight Show building, like where they filmed the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and then we're at Central Park, and we also saw the SNL building, which is super cool. We came back and took a nap at the apartment before we went out to the club because we are elderly, but this is Grace handing me the food that we got so we could be energized to go out to the club. Oh, cool. Okay, so I just wanted to say I will never, ever be able to capture the experience that Grace and I had that night. It was so much fun. We stayed at the club for hours. We're not even those type of people. Like, I'm not that type of a person where I just want to, like, spend hours at the club and leave at 4 a.m. Never will be me, but it was me that night. Only because the club's environment was amazing and, like, I just had the best time ever.
Oh, shit! A rat!
Oh, no! So we left the club way too late. Like, we were there probably till like 4 a.m.-ish, and my flight was like earlier, which is so inconvenient, and the snowstorm caused delays. So I wasn't going to be able to make my my flight, so I had to buy a whole entire plane ticket, and Grace and I went to bed for like a couple of hours, and then she drove me to the airport like 3 hours later. All because we wanted to stay at the club and we were having too good of a time. But, I mean, I would do it over again. I really would. Long story short, no, New York City is not overhyped. It was the perfect time. It was so exciting. It was exactly what I felt I needed in that time of my life. I highly recommend everybody travel there at least once if you can handle it. I used to think that I would love to live there. I know that I am not cut out for it now. I could not live there because it just takes way too much energy and money. I think it's exciting when you get like a spurt of energy to be able to go to a fun city and to explore, but to be there full time, I don't think I could do it. but I admire the people that do.